Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Carly Fetz, or you could call me Fetz, or you could call me John, or whatever it may be. This time I'm back with a short one on how to create this awesome looking fluid type paint material. Whether it's animated or it's static, it doesn't really matter, but it's really easy to do. And let's just dive in. So let me just fire up my live viewer, show you my settings. Fairly basic, like, well, let me just crank that to default since it doesn't matter. I have the GI clamp at 10, um, but it doesn't really matter too much. So if I put this on, you can see what's going on. We have this nice looking paint material with all these separate layers being also applied as a bump map, and we just get this overall nice look of this cool paint and these other minor little details. So let me just show you on how to create this. I'll create a new material, universal material. So this can be done in Octane 2020 only, I believe, by using the new OSL material shaders inside the node editor. So I created a new universal material. Let me throw this on here, and let me crank down the metallic, and let me change the diffuse or albedo, whatever you may want to call it, to black. So let's get started. You know, let's drag in, scroll down to our OSL patterns, and then scroll down to our paint colors. That's what we want. We have one, we have two. This time we're going to be going with paint colors 1. And you see, if I plug this into the diffuse, already a really nice look. Really dope look. So you could call it a day, hit render and finish it, but we want to go a bit deeper. We want to get some nice little details. So for our bump map, let me create an Octane gradient and drag it in between. So it's plugged in here, and then we want to go and add all of these different color batches just by going black and white and light gray and dark gray and another gray and another black and another gray and another black. What we have right now will be basically our bump map, since they work best with gray, black and white values. So let's drag this into the bump and see what we get. Okay, that's already looking pretty good, to be honest. Maybe it's a bit intense, but we can easily fix that by just dragging in a color correction node. So we got this going. And then let's adjust the gamma. So by making it brighter, it's not as intense anymore. But we still have this really nice, clean, detailed look that is driven by the base OSL texture. So that's pretty cool. Or you could, of course, adjust it way too much, so it's being driven by the other spectrum of the gamma. Or we could, set it to default for this example and then just invert it. And then it inverts the black and white values. So we get an inverted bump map look. Now, let me plug in, before I plug it back into the color, I'll remove this bump map and I will go drag in an image texture and load one up. And once again, I'm using Travis David's displacement patterns. Not even displacements, we can go, Travis David's roughness patterns even. So let's do that. Let's get, I think fingerprints would be good. So let's load in a fingerprint texture and plug this into the roughness. Nothing's really changing because of the values and of the size of the texture. So let me select the image texture using UV transform and then UV projection. And then let me adjust the gamma. Now you can see something is happening, but the scale is way too big, obviously. So let's go texture projection and do box. And we can go in here, or either, well, I don't really think we need the transform, so let's go into the texture projection, lock the aspect ratio, and scale down our texture. And now you can see what's going on with this. If we scale this down, now we get these nice little specks of detail. Maybe we'll change to another one real quick. Do the bigger one and scale this up. Oh, my bad. And scale it up. Now we get some nice fingerprints going on the figure. And let's just drag our color correction in the bump again. And let's drag in, what do we do now? I think we go, yeah, we do the coating layer. So let's go into our coating layer and put the coating to 1. Then we can plug in another roughness map. So let me just copy those two. You know what? I don't even think we need another roughness map. Let's do some scratches. Let me get some scratches in here. Let's load those in. Put the gamma at 2.2, so it's the default. And let's put this into our coating bump map. And now we get even more finer detail going. If we zoom in, you can see what's going on. Maybe we invert the map so those scratches are pointing inwards and not outwards. Maybe scale it up a bit. That's probably too much. I think something like this will work fine. And you know, maybe we should do it. Let me just plug in the OSL texture into our diffuse and see what we got going so far. So let's sort this a bit, put those down, put this up. And what you can do now is plug in another gradient map in here. And then what do? We do purple, purple and green maybe. Let's bring in a purple. Let's bring in a green. Okay, that's pretty cool. Maybe we invert those. And then let's bring in an even darker purple for this. And maybe an teal type color. Let's just move those around. So as you can see, we already changed the initial look of our paint. And I can now adjust the bump values a bit. Make them maybe a bit more extreme. And that is already pretty cool. Now we can maybe even add a bit more highlights by just dragging in a mix material and then dragging in another Octane material, making it black, glossy material, and we plug this, oh, hold on. We plug our bump map into the amount, and then material 1 and material 2, and just apply this mix texture. And if I turn this into a black, wait, let me turn this into a red. Now you can see what our bump is actually doing. Okay. So let me turn this into a chromey type color. Maybe plug in the same bump map here. And maybe don't go too crazy with the index. Let's keep it at black. And now we get these nice little highlights going on our second material. That gives us a really nice, shiny, painterly, well, not really that painterly, but it gives us a nice, shiny look. And now you're basically finished. You can, of course, fine-tune the materials. And if you want to keyframe those, all you have to do is check your OSL texture, and let's do the offset X and the offset Z. Go to 90 frames and just modify it a bit. Modify the Z and then keyframe it. And the live viewer can't really keep up with the OSL materials. You will also see that there are no keyframes at the bottom. That doesn't really happen with OSL materials, and I don't know why, or OSL shaders. And if you want to render this, you have to make sure that, let me just show you an example. So if you render this default thing, where is it? Yeah, render settings. Usually it's resend only updated objects and check materials every frame. So if we do this, you can take a look at it. And something is off, something is not right. So if we take a look at this area right here, you can see that the bump map is not moving with our texture. So let's fix this. Easy step. What you want to do is you want to do resend all scene data, and then you want to make sure that check materials every frame is not checked, because every time I have this enabled, my render crashes as soon as it goes into the second frame. And with this, you are all set. So let's send it in again. Oh, so my program crashed. I think Cinema is still a bit weary of our OSL material, or of their OSL shaders, or rather Octane is. So I tried this, of course, that's the default. I tried without the materials every frame, that just doesn't animate at all, of course. And I tried this, and I tried this, and this worked earlier, but now it doesn't anymore. And somehow, for some reason, check materials every frame now works. So if I send this off, like I just did for a test run, works fine, bump map is being updated, everything else works like a charm. As you can see, no more crashes, hopefully. And the bump map is being updated. Get these nice ridges. So yeah, I hope you learned something. It's a really quick one. Well, not that quick, but in comparison to my other videos. If you want to stay updated with my stuff, just hit the subscribe button, it means a lot. But also if you're just viewing to get a quick tip in, also fine. I appreciate every single one of you that I can somehow help out with the stuff I do. I also will be streaming more on Twitch this year than compared to last one. I will be getting new equipment soon, hopefully. I won't jinx it, but I'll keep you guys updated when it does happen. New webcam, actually webcam, a new mic, and all that good stuff, possibly. So yeah, if you want to stay in touch, just subscribe, Twitch TV/CarlyFets, or check my Instagram. All that stuff is linked in the description. Whatever. If you have questions, send me an email or comment down below. Whatever, yada yada yada. I don't fucking who cares? So I just hope I helped you guys. Short little tip, and it's 6 a.m. so I probably gotta get to sleep.